Hello and welcome to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and this podcast is brought to you by thelegendarychiropractor.com, an interactive and immersive virtual platform for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field wanting just a little bit more from this profession. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you do, be sure to share with a friend, leave us a rate, leave us a review, and also be sure to subscribe to get more. Dr. Brad Glowacki runs one of the highest volume, highest profile, highest profitability practices in the world, and it's all run with vitalistic communication procedures. Those procedures from his office are then shared with other chiropractors at his various trainings as a part of Level Up Mentoring. This information is created, developed, tested, and then packaged simplistically before being taught. With bruises and scars from making mistakes, Dr. Glow always delivers refined content that is battle-tested and simplified for use on Monday. To level up your life and practice, head over to levelupmentoring.rocks. That's levelupmentoring.rocks. Chiro HD, superior cloud-based practice management software. Chiro HD is a user-friendly, all-in-one EHR solution built with one mission: to help you run your practice like a boss. Learn more at chirohd.com. Total Clinic Solutions is your go-to source for purchasing both brand new and refurbished chiropractic equipment, as well as phone support for repairs and maintenance. Call Derek and allow him to combine your wishes and his 23 years of chiropractic equipment expertise to find what's best for you and your patients at 704-622-4089 or head to totalclinicsolutions.com now. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Johnny Reuter here with another Legendary Chiropractor podcast. I am coming to you live, of course, from my car, and I really have an important discussion to talk to you about today, because this month and these couple weeks here are all about finding a job and finding opportunities as a chiropractic student or a recent graduate to go into an associate position, independent contracting position, buy a practice, do something, right? Even a student intern, if you're at Life, Peak Program, if you're at Palmer, preceptorship, et cetera. So really important to understand where you guys can go for resources, information, things like that. But of course, click the link above, legendarychiropractor.com/go, legendarychiropractor.com/go. And that is where you can find all of the information that you need, not only to opt into our email list, to become a member of our platform and actually get information on a weekly basis on this content, but also you get past lives, past podcast interviews, access to all of our PDFs and downloadable things that you can have at your disposal if you become a free member. So without further ado, let's jump right into the episode. We got a busy day ahead of us today, so I want to make sure that we're bringing you the best of the best content as per usual for chiropractic students and recent graduates. So where can you go to? We're talking about chiropractic jobs this month for chiropractic students, but we're also talking about today is really talking about standing out as a chiropractic student, standing out as a chiropractic applicant and candidate, right? So there are tons and tons of employers out there. There are so many people looking for associates, because once you're successful in chiropractic, oftentimes we want to step back and work more on the business versus in the business, right? So two completely different things. Now, can they be synergistically involved in one another? Absolutely, 100%. But what's really important and what you need to understand is that we don't need you to, go out and make a fuss about, finding a job and doing all this stuff, because we don't want you to get taken advantage of. We want you to hold your ground. We want you to make negotiations that are reasonable, and that you actually understand what you're saying and how you're saying them. So I actually got a couple messages this morning from a couple people that were just like, hey, I want to make sure that, I'm doing this right, I'm doing this right. And students reach out to me all the time. I absolutely love it. So if you got questions about chiropractic jobs, about school, about anything, please reach out. I'm always available. I want to make sure that you're being as successful as you possibly can during school and even after school, immediately after school. And that's why we're here, right? So be sure to reach out if you do have questions. The other thing I would say is definitely a couple things, right? We have 3 bullet points listed above, but I'm going to kind of go off script here and make sure that you really understand what I think you should personally do to stand out. Because here's the reality. We oftentimes think that 100+ seminars, right, in our chiropractic career makes us stand out. We oftentimes think that certifications or diplomates or, extended trainings help us stand out. We oftentimes think that our grades, our GPA, it help us stand out, right? The list goes on. I can keep going with this, but the things that I listed there, your grades, your GPA, certifications, diplomates, just all of these different things that you have going, technique seminars and all of this stuff, right? It's not really the right move to stand out to an employer, okay? Sked is the all-in-one system that allows for amazing control and flexibility of your scheduling. Yes, your next new hire. Every aspect of when and where you service your customers is at your command. Sked is tightly integrated with your existing EHR system. This software was made by a chiropractor specifically for chiropractic. No joke. Go check out their latest care plan feature by heading to go.sked.life/legendarypod. Easily share your passion for chiropractic and look good doing it with Above Down apparel, offering a premium lineup of principled apparel that's impossibly soft, sustainably sourced, and chiropractic AF. Visit abovedown.co and follow them on Instagram to learn more and score yourself some sweet chiro swag. Every chiropractic clinic needs a compliance program. If you are not sure what that includes or why you need one, let Dr. Robin from RHDC Consulting help you build your chiropractic compliance. If you are ready to get started, head to robin-hale.mykajabi.com and let Dr. Robin guide you to the end result. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. And out to an employer is to find them, connect with them professionally, and it's to keep following up with them and sharing how you will help grow their practice. It's not about you. It's not about the money that you're going to have. It's not about the income that you're going to make. It's not about how many people you can see. It's about how you are going to be stepping into their practice, helping them grow it, right? I had one doc he asked me a question and he was like, well, why, what's the point of not including yourself in that practice? It was kind of a vague question, but what he was after was, why do you not see yourself, as a part of this practice already, but while you are applying for the job? And my short answer was, and my short answer still is, because I'm there to help you grow your practice, and I want to be a catalyst in that experience for you, your office, and your community. It's not my practice. I have the dream of someday owning my own practice and running my own clinic. I don't consider anybody else's practice my practice, but I consider where I work, right? I consider that a part of now my life, my baby, right? But I don't consider that mine. That would be rude and inconsiderate. They've worked their butts off to get to where they're at, and to hire me and for me to come in and say my practice, my team, my this, and this, it's not fair to them. It's not good verbiage on my point as a candidate and an applicant. And that's just one thing that kind of stands out to me. The other thing is if you go, and we're going to talk about all 3 of those things that I mentioned. If you go to 100+ technique seminars in your chiropractic career, and you get to the point where you are doing an interview with a doctor, you will have to adjust them. You will absolutely have to adjust the doctor. If they don't make you adjust them during the interview process, that's insanity to me. It's insanity to me. They need you to adjust them because they need to know how you're going to be, what you need to work on, and how they can build you up to their patients and clientele from there, right? So with that being said, you can go to 100 technique seminars in your chiropractic career. You can get to that point when you go to adjust the doctor who's hiring, and all of a sudden it doesn't go well, right? Now, your resume is filled with, I've been to 1,000 chiropractic seminars and technique seminars and conferences and all this stuff. But yet, when you went to go set the doctor's atlas, it didn't go well, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I am fully encouraging you to go to technique seminars and do everything that you can to get hands-on in school and as a recent graduate. However, you gotta learn how to adjust, especially if you're stepping into a full spine, diversified practice, seeing high volume. You gotta know how to move a bone and adjust. You have to. It's just as simple as that. It's gotta be as clear cut as that. If you're going into TRT practice, if you're going into an activator practice, and you don't yet know the technique, that's totally fine. They're still gonna have you adjust them, probably full spine diversified, because that's the most common technique that is out there in practice and utilized in practices around the world. So they're probably going to have you adjust. Now they're going to teach you TRT. They're going to send you to seminars. They're going to teach you activator. They're going to send you to seminars, do all of those things to be proficient in that technique that they use mainly in their office. However, they still want your hands on them so they know exactly what their patients are going to be getting, no matter if that's TRT, activator, full spine diversified, Gonstead, Thompson, et cetera, right? It doesn't matter. So make sure that you know and understand that you will be adjusting them on your interview process and during that interview process. The second thing is do grades matter? Of course, grades matter. Grades matter to you. Grades matter to your mind, your mindset, right, and succeeding in school. But grades oftentimes don't matter. It's not a bragging point to say you got a 4.0 in chiropractic school. It's not a bragging point to say you got a 3.0 in chiropractic school. It's just not a bragging point. But what is a bragging point is that you passed all 5 national boards in the United States here, and that you're willing and able to get whatever licensure is necessary in that state where you're looking to apply and work and where you're a candidate. That's what matters. They don't care if you got C's throughout all of chiropractic school. If you show up and you can adjust and you're a really good person, you can do some outreach and some communication skills that are pretty basic, and you have all 5 boards passed in the nation in regards to the United States, and you're willing to apply for licensure in their state if you are to accept the job, boom. Right? Like, that's a win-win, right? So you got to understand that. So grades do matter mentally and physically to you, not so much to your doc. Your doc looks at, hey, do you have your boards? Are you willing to apply for licensure, et cetera, et cetera. The last thing that I want to talk about and kind of touch on is, we talked about technique seminars. We talked about grades. Now I want to talk about certifications, right? I have one certification, and that's Webster Technique. That's the only certification that I hold to my name, except for my doctorate in chiropractic. That's it, right? That's it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying don't go into your extremity certifications, your peds certifications, et cetera, et cetera. It's the one and only main one that I would recommend that everybody should have is Webster Technique, for sure. Absolutely, right? However, you want to be sure that you're not utilizing those as leverage, because oftentimes, far too often, we think that, we did XXXXX and X amount of certification courses, and now we're certified in this program, but yet to the head doc, that doesn't really matter. Can you move the bone? Can you adjust an extremity? Can you adjust an ankle? Because when you're seeing 300, 400 patient visits a week, if you want to be in high volume, it doesn't really matter your certifications. It's a matter of if you can get the job done or not in an efficient and effective manner, right? So if you're going into something that is a little bit more critical and demanding in your expertise, like functional neurology, functional medicine, something like that along those lines, that is highly critical and highly important to have certification for that, because you can't be considered a functional neurologist. Dr. Stu Hoffman, founder and president of Chiropractic Malpractice Insurance, is the foremost expert in both risk management and risk avoidance. Understanding the everyday challenges of today's practicing chiropractor and the current public perception of chiropractic has made Chiropractic the fastest growing malpractice insurance program of the last 28 years. Find out more at chiropractic.com. Imaging Services' primary business is chiropractic solutions. With over 45 years in the industry of helping chiropractors, Michael Tokash offers free consultations on building your business. In the past year, Imaging Services has installed over 100 X-ray machines and digital X-ray systems in over 42 states across the United States. For more, head to theimagingservices.com. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. You don't have your diplomate or your course studies behind and credentials behind saying that you're a functional neurologist, right? So you got to understand where the line is there. Don't just go out and take a bunch of certifications. One, they're really expensive during school and you can spend your money elsewhere or save it. And two, it's not really going to make you stand out on your resume as much as you probably think it would. So make sure that that's really, really crystal clear. Make sure you got all your boards passed. Make sure that technique seminars, if you're going, make sure you know how to adjust. Make sure that when you go and show up for your interview that you're able to move the bone that needs to be moved in whatever technique and manner that you're doing it for that head chiropractor, so that you look really, really good when you go to an interview for these jobs. The third thing is yes, certifications matter if you're in a very specific niche market like functional neurology, functional medicine, something like that. But other than that, it's not super critical, and they're not going to make you stand out as much as you probably think they are in regards to your resume. And they're also not going to give you that salary bump that you think you deserve because you spent X amount of hours and X amount of money learning these different techniques and getting these certifications. So that's my advice to you. That's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Drop comments below if you found value in this. I love you guys. I know I seem a little angry or rash and very upfront today, but I want to make sure that you understand these things, because far too often we get taken advantage of out there. We don't hold our own ground, but you got to know what ground to hold if you're going to hold ground. Your ground to hold, your number one thing to bring to the table is how you are going to step into their practice as an associate or an independent contractor and grow their business. Boom. Period. End of story. Right? It doesn't matter if you're high volume. It doesn't matter if you're functional neuro. It doesn't matter what you are. It matters what you are going to bring to their office. It shouldn't be a conversation of, doc, what do I get out of it as a candidate and an employer or an employee? It's, hey, doc, here's what you get from hiring me and bringing me into your clinic, into your practice, because we're going to blow this. We're going to blow the ceiling off the roof here. We're going to blow, that didn't make any sense. We're going to blow the ceiling off here, because that's what you need to do. Okay. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a very powerful, powerful day. I will talk to you later this week, but I love you guys. I appreciate you. And tell someone today that is close to you, that you love them, that you're caring about them, and that you're thinking about them, because honestly, far too often we go without saying those things, and we need to say them. I keep sharing that in my emails. I keep sharing, spread kindness, spread joy, share the things that are powerful and that you love in life with others, and that's how this world becomes a better place. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you found value in this, please comment below. If you're just joining us, please go back and watch this episode from the very beginning. It's important. We're talking all about how to stand out as a chiropractic candidate and associate. I love you guys. Peace and love. Bye. Again, I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and you're listening to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for engaging with us on all of our platforms, including, but not limited to, Facebook and Instagram, all at The Legendary Chiropractor.
Be sure to check our home site out at thelegendarychiropractor.com, as we have much to offer for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field. And lastly, I'd like to thank not only you, our listener, but also our podcast sponsors. Without them, this show wouldn't be possible. So I encourage you to go check out their websites and what they have to offer in the show notes for this episode. Thanks again. Stay legendary, my friends.